Really?
You serious?
I literally have no idea what these men are doing wrong in this video. Did they try to talk to you, bother you, harass you? Did one of them try to maybe record a video of you? Or are you attacking men for simply existing in the gym? Because all I see in this video is a bunch of men and women working their butts off in the gym, minding their own business. Yet you want to make a video to attack their behavior and call them clowns? The only clown-like behavior in this video that doesn't belong in the gym is you.
Is it any surprise that men aren't going to the gyms as much as they used to? That's right. Currently, there's a mass exodus of men who've had enough of toxic feminism, and modern women have completely ruined the gym experience for men. And not for any good reason. Men have been putting up with toxic behavior in gyms for years, and now they're starting to exercise their freedom. The MGTOW philosophy is gaining traction rapidly. Men are not only walking away from marriages, relationships, and female approval, they're also walking away from gyms which have become a cesspool of validation-addicted Instagram influencers, toxic modern women, and simps. For a man looking to train seriously, the gym is no longer a place that you can rely on. And now, some sources say that up to 60% of men are boycotting gyms to explore options elsewhere. The financial effect this is having on gyms is something we're only just seeing the beginning of. But before we go any further, let me share the comment of the day. Shout out to Wolfmobile, who said, "Nobody wants Western women, but it's hilarious to see them think foreign men want them for anything more than a smash and dash. Maybe one day they'll realize, or maybe they won't." So please, don't forget to reach out to us by email to claim your $5. As usual guys, I'll pick one comment from each video. It may be the funniest, the most liked, or one that touched me, so don't forget to leave a comment and you may be our next winner. Make sure to hit the like and subscribe buttons too, as it helps a lot. Now, back to the video.
I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. I don't ever slow.
This is a reaction to yet another impact of toxic modern feminism in the West. Men's spaces are being erased. It used to be standard in society that men would have places to go to enjoy being around other men. Sports teams, cigar lounges, and gentlemen's clubs. These weren't seen as a problem. Masculinity was once a thing that society celebrated and encouraged. And this is why society has managed to achieve so much in so little time. Men are the builders of society, and we need our own spaces. But toxic feminism came along and branded all men's spaces as meeting grounds for toxic misogynists. And they successfully managed to change the culture to the point where men's spaces started getting torn down or rebranded to be more inclusive. And the funny yet shocking thing about this is that the women who campaigned so hard to end men's spaces are women who never intended to go there in the first place. They just wanted to ruin it for the rest of us, and they succeeded. Right now, there's a war on men in the West. Testosterone in men is at its lowest point in recorded history. Since the 1980s, the average level of testosterone in men has decreased by 1% per year. This is rapidly creating a society of simpy, passive nice guy men who would rather die than disagree with a woman. Toxic feminism grew in the vacuum that weak men created, and one of the things that maintains a man's strength and testosterone levels across time is resistance training. You hear it all the time, and there's an extremely good reason for that. If you aren't lifting, you're getting weaker in every way, and men have been getting weaker with every generation. The low testosterone of men is all the evidence you need that the cult of toxic feminism is successful in its agenda to emasculate men. The hormone that makes men men is desperately low. And I can hear the feminists now saying, yes, and that's a good thing, which tells you all you need to know about how naive and short-sighted they are. They also completely out themselves when they say this. This gynocratic society wants men to be weak. They don't want men to be physically strong, healthy, and capable. And they definitely don't want men coming together and bonding with each other. These things make men stronger and more healthy. This society doesn't want that. However, toxic feminism is shooting itself in the foot. Low testosterone in men is a universally bad thing. It causes a staggering amount of health complications, leads to low fertility, and increases mental health issues. And while the feminists might think they want men gone from society, if that were to happen, they would cry the loudest, begging the men to come and save them.
There are lunatics trying to make weight woke. You heard that correctly. Alyssa Royce, the owner of Rocket Community Fitness, a CrossFit gym in, you guessed it, Seattle, is now urging CrossFit box owners to stop designating barbells as men and women's bars. 45 pounds equals a men's bar and 35 pounds a woman's bar, but apparently she says this is silly because barbells don't have genders, they have weights. One of her main arguments is that you are implying that if a man cannot handle the heavier barbell, that he is less of a man. Well, newsflash, Alyssa, this is a bad thing. I am 5'2", 102 pounds, and even I can handle the men's bar. Oh, but it gets even worse. The owner also says that by having men and women's bars, you are excluding non-binary folks. This has gotten so out of control. If you are offended by a bar being labeled according to the gender that they are typically used for, then please do me and everybody else a favor. Just stay home. Your mind is already unhealthy, so your body might as well be too.
There's also a war on competence and male strength. One of the main things that toxic feminism gets wrong is that it can't tell the difference between a man who's competent and a man who's abusive. To feminism, these are the exact same thing. To them, a man in a gym is exercising his misogynistic and oppressive worldview. To them, a man getting stronger is a threat because they believe he will use it to hurt women. So, if feminism won, our society would be completely full of simps and betas existing for the validation of women. But then, modern women would be the first ones crying, "Where have all the good men gone?" This is why toxic feminism is such a pointless and useless ideology. It destroys what it really wants, and it can't even see that it's doing it. Okay, so those were the deeper cultural reasons why gyms have become so inhospitable to the average man. Now let's talk about the way modern women have destroyed gyms and why men are starting to avoid them altogether. Men aren't going to the gyms as much because they don't want to be accused of being creepy by a thirsty TikTok influencer who just wants more followers. One of the most disgusting trends to emerge in the social media space in recent years is the #GymCreep hashtag. Now, I'm not saying there aren't creepy men who act creepy towards women in gyms. This unfortunately does happen. What's disgusting about the trend is how modern women influencers started taking advantage of the trend to gain views, likes, and followers. And they did this by accusing any man who looked in their direction. The reason this pissed off so many men is because it's the classic double standard of society. One rule for women, another rule for men. Can you imagine men filming women in the gym and putting it on social media for any reason? You'd be arrested for that kind of behavior. But society allowed women to take their phones into the gym and record men without permission who supposedly stared at them. It's like a woman falsely accusing men of sexual harassment, which, as you know, is a huge problem in today's society. And this #GymCreep trend was just another example of women manipulating men in order to gain something from them. In the vast majority of these examples, the man wasn't being creepy at all. He was just working out or looking at her in a normal way that people like to look at people. One thing I find amusing is that so many of these influencers who cried on TikTok about being glanced at by men are women who had OnlyFans accounts. For just $5 a month, you could see her ham sandwich on full display, but apparently, she feels offended and creeped out by a guy looking at her for a second in the gym. It was total BS, but the damage was done. And now, men know that to go to the gym means you're putting yourself at risk of ending up on TikTok as being some creepy stalker. The reality is, you were just training chess that day and minding your own business.
Encountered a gym creeper today. Obviously this guy's not dressed for a good workout, and he just kept wandering from machine to machine, staring at girls while they were working out. And I literally stood next to him for so long and he didn't even notice me. This is so annoying. We come to work out not to be leered at. And yes, I did report him to the front desk and
This clip is a great example of a woman trying to gain social media clout by preying on an old man training in the gym. Anyone with any sense would look at this guy and know that he isn't staring. He's looking at people in the gym around him. You do know why public spaces exist, right? So people can be around other people. And if women looking at them in the gym is something they find so threatening, there's something they can do. Leave and do home workouts. Try a different gym. Go to one of the countless women's only gyms you're likely to find in any major city. These are the kinds of things that responsible adults would do if they felt uncomfortable. Take action to improve your situation. This is not something modern women do. Modern women are more likely to make an Instagram video for attention than they are to ask themselves what they can do to improve things. Accountability, effort, and responsibility are a modern woman's kryptonite. And this is how we know that many of these women don't feel as threatened as they want their followers to believe. If they genuinely felt threatened, would they have the composure to make a TikTok about it and draw more attention to themselves? For some reason, I doubt it. Here's a difference between men and modern women. When life presents a man with a challenge, a man asks, "What can I do to make this situation better?" Whereas a modern woman says, "This is how the world should change to make this situation better for me." And here's an own goal that modern women scored. Because of the man-hating narrative that feminism has been spewing out over the last few decades, men aren't helping women in gyms anymore. That's right. We've gotten to a point in society where a woman could be caught in a situation where she might get injured, and men are rightfully worried about getting slapped with a sexual harassment charge. It's insane how in a society where women and men have historically cooperated in beneficial ways, feminism has now created such an extreme divide between the sexes that it's safer for men to avoid helping women, or even interacting with them at all. There are countless women who want chivalrous men. They want men who are traditional. But the majority of modern women have screwed it up for these women, and now they've ruined it for the rest of them. Feminism told men to stop opening doors for them and stop pulling the chair out. Feminism said that women aren't these dainty little creatures who need a man's help, and we listened. Now, women can't depend on men helping them in the gym if they get themselves in trouble, and they only have themselves to blame. Another problem that men are avoiding by leaving gyms is the way social media like TikTok and Instagram have completely ruined gym culture. Gyms used to be a place where you could go and get your training session done in peace. It wasn't a place for gaining followers or clout. It wasn't the social media circus it is today. But now, in your average modern gym, it's perfectly normal to see women in tight yoga pants filming herself stretching for an hour. Dressed in the most provocative ways, only for her to point out some creepy guy who supposedly looked in her direction. Modern women like these would love for you to believe that they don't want validation. They want you to believe that they are independent, high-value, high-status women with high self-esteem. Well, you need to be high to believe that. Here's the thing about these women. Validation and attention is their drug. Accountability is their kryptonite. Always remember that. And when you see a woman dressed in super tight yoga pants and crop tops for no apparent reason, she's there to feed her ego. And let's be honest for a moment. If these women suddenly began receiving no attention from men, they would have a nervous breakdown. A full identity crisis where they wouldn't know which way is up. gyms should impose mere restrictions on filming in the gym. They should enforce this with suspensions and bans if these women fail to stick to the rules. But the gynocracy doesn't like holding women accountable. It doesn't like imposing boundaries and restrictions on women, even if it's absolutely necessary. So don't expect gyms to change anytime soon. But to become a strong man in today's society, you absolutely need to train. Just don't do it on the terms of modern women. Instead, one of the best things you can do is find a group of guys and commit to building a home gym together. This is one of the best things you can do to become the kind of strongman that's needed in today's society. All you need is a squat rack, a bench, a barbell with plates, some dumbbells, a pull-up bar, and maybe some kettlebells. Altogether, it wouldn't cost you very much. You can build one in a garage and get keys cut for any one of you who wants to use it. You won't be distracted by Instagram thoughts twerking all over the equipment. You won't end up on TikTok being accused of being a creepy stalker. You won't have to wait for 20 minutes while that woman in front of you slowly finishes her sets in between Instagramming her friends. And most of all, it brings men together. This is something modern women absolutely hate, and it goes against the anti-male society we now live in. Society hates strong men who stick together. Leaving gyms, saying no, and building your own is how you refuse to participate in the madness. If society is ending men's spaces because they're too masculine, leave, and make your own gym as toxically masculine as you want. As always, I wish you tremendous success. Now it's your turn. What do you think? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Remember that if you leave the best comment, you'll get $5. Thank you so much for watching. If you found value in this video, hit the like and subscribe buttons, ring the notification bell so you don't miss out on future uploads, drop a comment, and share it. See you in the next video. Till next time.